Hello everybody, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, once again in the Pilatus PC-12 November 586 Alpha Tango. We are currently on the ground here in First Flight Airport in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Just went ahead and landed this thing in an absolutely insane storm that had brought me all the way down to LNAV MDA minimums. Please, 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 if you haven't, go check out that video. It's right in your top right corner of the screen right there. We are going to go ahead and ferry this off. We just dropped our passengers, so we need to go ahead and ferry this plane over to Newport, not Newport, it's Newport News, Virginia. It'll be about a 25-minute flight with no passengers. Got to get this thing out with its current fuel load of 1,700 pounds. Out of a 3,000-foot strip. Shouldn't be impossible for this airplane, but we'll see how it goes. The sun is going to set here in just over half an hour, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. We'll be cruising 14,000 feet, 25-minute flight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Thanks for flying with us this evening. Okay, engine start checklist. ATC clearance is not required. Doors and windows are closed and latched. We're going to go ahead and turn the beacon light on. Passenger signs are not required. We don't have any passengers on board. Condition lever is NA on this airplane. And we're going to go ahead and perform the verified throttle lever to idle. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and perform the startup. So this is going to be set to ignition. This will be set to run. And then all you got to do is press the starter. Look down here and you can see starters engaged. You've got NG starting to rise. And right at that 14%, you'll see it adds fuel. And oil temps and pressure going up. ITT starting to rise. And there's RPM starting to go up too. I'm on any second now. There's 100. Starter cutoff. And now we just got to watch all these guys and make sure they stay in their good normal ranges. Guarding the brakes too, of course. ITT is rising. We're going to watch that, make sure it doesn't go too hot on us. And that looks like it's going to... So there it goes, steadying out now. Alright, that's a good startup. After start, external power just verified is off. Windshield heat set, probes are set, inertial separator set. I got to hit reset on the fuel used there, and now I have to go set up the information here, which will take me just 1 minute. Great. Transponder verified, set ALT, and I can go ahead and flip the taxi light on. And the taxi here is so quick that I'm going to go ahead and release the park and brake and do this departure briefing right here, right now. So we're going to be taking off runway 03. That'll give us 3,000 feet of runway. We are going to use every inch of this runway. We either make it or we don't. There's no abort on this. If we have any engine failure on the runway, we're closing throttle and applying hard brake. If we have anything after we take off 4,000 feet, which will be 1,000 indicated, we will go ahead and pitch for best glide and land straight ahead. After 1,000, we can make a left-hand turn back to the field. Otherwise, once we pass 500 feet, we can make a left-hand turn, punch nav mode on, directed deems, which will be our first fix, and then we can go ahead and set our altitude 10,000 initially, and it'll be up to 14,000 will be our final altitude today. The last thing I want to do before I leave, actually, I probably should have done this before we taxied out, but we're just going to grab the weather one last time, make sure it matches what we had before.
Kilo Foxtrot, Foxtrot, Alpha Automated Weather Observation.
Oh, it's still reporting heavy rain. Yeah, that seems right. This is clearly outdated. We're going to ignore that, but it says winds are calm. We're going to be taking runway 3. Like I said, left-hand turn out on departure, and why do I feel like I'm missing something? I feel like this is the second time in a row. Yeah, fuel pumps and ignition is it's on the checklist. I just keep glancing over it. I need to yell at myself a little bit for that. Yep, I've just double checked. I've got everything down on the checklist now. We can do that before takeoff checklist now that the departure briefing is done. Anti-ice is set as required. We'll turn the windshield heating as required. Probe heats are on. Inertial separator is what I just turned off. Trim verified is set for takeoff. Flaps verified set 30 for takeoff. Condition lever is NA. We're going to turn all lights on and we're going to get the hell out of here. So it's going to be pulse lights coming on, landing lights coming on, strobe, wing on. We're going to release the park and brake. And we are clear for takeoff. Final is clear. The runway itself, first officer is going to tell me it's clear because I don't feel like looking over. I know, worst pilot. Come on. Final's clear. Just gonna get myself right on this, right here, using every inch of this runway. Come on, you. Get yourself lined up and stopped right here. Alright, 3 is identified. Field elevation looks good. We're going to go ahead and start to increase that throttle nice and gently. Here we go. Gently up to MCP, please. There's MCP. Make sure this thing is producing every inch of power. That's engine stabilized. Everything looks good. Releasing brakes. There's airspeed alive. And there's 67 rotate. Get a little bit more stick pressure than that. And look at that thing go. There's VX. And positive brake gear. Yeah, I know, ground proximity. I did that intentionally so I get better performance. And now that we're clear of that obstacle, I'm going to go ahead and bring one notch of flaps up. Let it climb out right now. And slowly increase the speed. There's 500. It should be a heading mode, right? There you go. And this set to FMS, flight level change. You can start to gradually, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and turn that autopilot on right there. And then work the heading over myself. To the left turn to intercept. Intercept that direct to Deems. There's the Outer Banks, everybody. So beautiful. Wow. Alright, let's just hold this for now. And if I punch in direct to Deems, direct to and activate nav mode on. Yep, source set to FMS. There goes the sun, and the plane's going to fly itself right out of this. Now that this is going to level itself out, I'm going to go ahead and yep, there it goes. It's leveling itself. I'm going to go bring that notch of flaps out. The final notch of flaps there. This is just so insane. Alright, we're climbing out now. Cabin pressure verified. Yeah, it looks good. We've got a good change in pressure. Climb checklist. The yaw damper verified is on. The autopilot is on. The gear verified is up. The flaps verified are retracted. Taxi light is going to come off at this time. Landing light will be on until we're above 10,000 feet. Verified that the inertial separator is off. Anti-ice is all set as required. And air conditioning verified set. Yep, that looks comfortable. Cabin pressure we just checked. Yep, good cabin differential pressure there, and cabin altitude that's slowly rising. And the altimeters will be set upon passing 18,000 feet. We're not even going to pass that today. This will be a pretty quick flight, very eventful. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys just a quick cinematic here of this climb out of Kitty Hawk, and then we got to get right into this arrival. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Alright, cruise checklist. Anti-ice is, let's see, it's currently 2 degrees out. We are going to turn the prop and boots on to low for now. Windshield heat's already on, so that's fine. For the approach briefing, we're planning on taking the ILS to runway 7. What I am going to do is just to show you real quick. So here's our flight. There you are right there. You can see a little bit of storms out this way, out to our west, but they shouldn't really affect us. Keyword shouldn't. Hopefully they shouldn't. Let's keep going over here, though. If I stop that, you can see how I'm basically intercepting almost, like, barely more than a 90-degree angle from final approach course. So what I'm going to do, what I'm thinking, is I'm just going to around here give myself a vector and then intercept at a 30-degree angle. So it'll be a makeshift vector to final to intercept Jaws that way. If we intercept Jaws at, looks like 2,000, that'll set us up nicely on the final approach fix there at Jedit, which will again stay at 2,000. So this should work out fine.
9er tree. ILS runway 7 in use. Landing and departing runway 7. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Romeo.
Alright, we have Romeo in Newport News, and we're going to be taking the ILS runway 7, winds 7 knots out of 100, few clouds at 1800, 29er 3 on the altimeter. We can go ahead and reset that right now. For the approach briefing, we are taking the ILS runway 7 into Newport News, 110.1 on the localizer frequency approach course of 067. 8,000 feet of runway, which is plenty, and I looked at the diagram before. We're expecting a left-hand turnout over to the FBO. Field elevation will be 40 feet. Notes have been reviewed. ATIS we've just obtained. Jaws will be at 2,000 or above. Jettit will be at 2,000. It's only 6 miles from Jaws. And that'll be the final approach fix there. ILS minimums will be 240. If we don't have the ILS, we can get the localizer minimums of 480. This approach will be a climb up to 2,500, 067 heading. Then we'll intercept the CCB Vortac radial 253 up to Rips intersection, where we will hold. We have our nav equipment for that, which will be fine. No questions at all about that, which is good. So we can get down to, here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and put VNav over here and bring you down to 3. That should work out. I think that what happened is my VNav is assuming I'm going to do this whole procedure turn. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit VS, and we are going to disengage VNav, and we are going to bring this down in vertical speed mode, just a little bit steeper. About to pass 10,000 feet. We're going to go landing lights coming on. Pulse lights, I like to keep the pulse lights on too. Landing light on. How's our outside air temperature? It's now 8 degrees, so we can go ahead and turn these guys all off. And what we'll do is we're 10 miles out. I'm going to reduce my speed. I'm going to do 2 things here. I'm going to reduce speed down to a 180. That'll help slow me down. In fact, actually, we're going to bring it down to, yeah, like 175 should be good. And I'm going to realign my heading bug, set this to heading mode. And we are going to intercept, actually, we'll go like a 3, call it a little bit more than 300, like a 290-ish. I know I'm totally bullshitting my vector here, but that's okay. 290, again, with the auto throttle going a little bit faster than what I say, in fact, repeatedly going faster than what I say. I think from now on, when we're done with the FMS, we're turning the auto throttle off and taking it in from here, because this is like the 3rd time in a row that's happened to me, and I'm starting to get a little tired of it. Looks like we might be starting to pop out of this cloud layer. I am going to go ahead and start to turn this back around to intercept. So 07 minus 3, so a 040 heading-ish, I say. And make sure my nav mode here gets set to the localizer, local 1, maybe, if it's set. Let's see. Oh, I need to swap it over. That might just help here, right? 103, yep, that's it. Awesome. Alright, now if I set heading mode, sort of swinging around to the north here. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that if I set this to 030, I know that's a 40-degree intercept. There's 4,000. We're going to go ahead and just set, well, I know in a second this is going to slow down. Come on, keep that heading coming. Yep, so that's 3,000. It's going to level off. I'm going to set this to, that looks like it's 030 will intercept right at Jaws, so that's okay. I can take that. And that's that needle live. We're going to go ahead and set nav mode. That should intercept it, and we'll get your altitude down to 2 as well. Let's see, so there's 2,000. I'm going to go ahead and set you to about 1,000 foot per minute descent. And we're going to go ahead and slow it down just a little bit more. Bring the first notch of flaps in. I'm going to set my speed on standby to 140 for the missed approach. That looks like the glide's starting to come along. Here's a question. Which glide is the real glide? I'm guessing this one is. I think. Hold on. I need to research this plane a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and put approach mode on standby and reduce speed. We're going to bring the gear down for the final approach fix. And that'll help reduce my speed too. Remember, I've got a VREF today of... Okay, come on. Don't stall out on me, please. Remember, we've got a VREF today of 87. I took that 77 and added a little bit to it. Alright, there we go. Approach mode is activated. So this right one is the actual glide. Alright, gotcha. Because that's what it captured there. We're going to go flaps to 30 now. And we'll start to bring it back a little bit. Altitude will be up to 2,500 for the mist. There's 2,500 set. And we can go flaps 40 now. Minimums will be 240. I've got the runway in sight though, so I say once things become stabilized, we take the airplane. Gear is down, 3 green, flaps set. All lights are on, and the autopilot is set up for the missed approach. I'm just going to reselect heading mode here too. We can start to bring it down just a little bit. I've got the airport in sight right in front of us. This is going to be a very good approach, I think. 1,200, we're 1,000 to go. I'm going to take the airplane myself at this point.
Autopilot.
All you gotta do is just fly the flight director down now for a little bit. Just a little bit here. We're still going kind of fast. Granted, I was going kind of fast on the one into first flight as well. It's showing me all white on the pappies, even though I'm right on the glide. That's interesting. I might just shut up here and let you guys enjoy the scenery. Yeah. 2 mile final for 07. Great. Gear down, 3 green, flap set. Awesome. This should hopefully be my last land of the day. This has been a lot of flying for me today. I'll shut up and just fly the thing. $700. The minimums can be tossed out the window now. We've got the runway in sight. We should try to still maintain the glide though, just for good habit's sake. At least the winds are calm today, unlike Poughkeepsie. That was a pain in my butt. Come on. There you go. Work that power. There you go. Little bits at a time. This thing's got a lot of oomph to it. There's definitely a slight crosswind here from the right. That's bothering me a little bit, but there you go. Just fly this. We're a little above. We're just a little bit fast, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. Just a very slight crosswind. Just work your rudders. That's all you got to do for that, especially in a lighter airplane like this one. Just work your rudders. Yeah, it's still showing me as low on the glide, but I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to start working the power out very gently. I know I'm going to sink a little bit, but I'm going to be okay with that because we've got the runway made. There's the runway 07, gears down, 3 green. And I'm going to work that power out nice and gently, In fact, we'll go all the way out now, round it out, hold this off, hold that nose off. There we go, and we'll open the reverse. And maybe I can tap the brakes and even make this taxiway. Maybe? I mean, there's no passengers, so nobody we need to keep comfortable. Yeah, I think we can make this taxiway here. Cool. This is a... What is that? Oh, there's the taxiway. That's just a patch of grass. Oh, well, now we know. Alright, we'll tap on the brakes here. And I'm actually not familiar with this airport, so once we exit, I need to review my stuff real quick. So we'll make the left here. And bring it to a stop on the other side of here. And it looks like the FBO should be just back this way, which will be good. Probes are off, flaps are up, weather radar's off, and transponder is set as required. We're over here on Delta. We'll go taxi over to Atlantic. They're a pretty reputable company, so we'll go over there. And it looks like the Atlantic is going to be right up here, so we'll go ahead and turn the taxi light off so we don't blind anybody. And I'll go ahead and just put myself right in front of this building here. and bring it to a stop right around here. Come on, add the brakes, add the brakes, add the brakes. Beautiful. Park brake set. And now we can run through that shutdown checklist. So, shutdown items are going to be park and brake set, anti-ice. Inertial separator is set off, power lever verified is set to idle, and the engine run switch will be set to off. Pressurization verified, -250, yeah, that's within reason. And the condition, okay, ignore the fire truck outside my apartment right now. We're fine, I promise, guys. I didn't land that hard. Wow, that's quite the aesthetic to end this. Alright, and the EPS, so pressurization's fine, EPS switch can go ahead and come off, and the standby battery can come off. Generators obviously can come off. Passenger signs were already off, external lights off. Batteries 1 and 2 are coming off, and the avionic bus can come off too. And that's going to conclude this flight. And I say the first thing we do, now that we've landed here in front of the Atlantic FBO, is I say we order a debugging of this airplane. I hate that they don't let me just debug the thing, or at least turn down how many bugs it gets. This is very annoying, but whatever. Everybody, welcome to Newport News. This was a very scenic and eventful flight. I'm actually, that was really a fun trip. I'm glad I did that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, part 1, if you haven't checked it out, was a very fun approach into first flight. And now we have this very scenic and very eventful flight. Very quick, very fast-paced flight over to Newport News and the Pilatus here. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of video, by all means, please subscribe. It actually helps out the channel a lot, and it lets me know that you guys genuinely enjoy this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and of course, have a good one, everybody.